Well, here is a Mahindra E2O, a brand new car. We are going to be checking it from the point of view of how to actually drive it. What are the positives, what are the negatives? Come with me. First and foremost, there are two people who can sit behind as well. Why don't you join us? Both these people are going to be sitting behind. Let's see how comfortable they are. Sitting behind is not that uncomfortable once you are in, but getting in is more of the problem. Here, you need to be able to settle your seat either front or back in such a way that you're comfortable. The car itself has a start-stop button. So if you press the start button, it comes on, after which you have to give in the key to match it, and if it gives you the welcome sign, your car is ready to go. There is no engine in this car, so you won't hear a thing. Before you start off, you are on neutral gear, that's N. When you shift the gear to F, that's the forward gear. If you are on R, that's the reverse gear. When you turn on the reverse gear, the camera comes on by default. So you can see what is behind you. The AC can be set to whatever temperature you want. The AC can be turned out even when the car is not technically on. That is, you are not ready to move. You can turn it on with the help of an app. And the AC will be on before you come into the car as well, so that it becomes a little cooler before you start with the car. There is a simple sweet spot that I have managed to hit where sitting is concerned, because usually the knee comes somewhere here and this portion is a little bad. If you are the sort of person that I am, if you are a little tall, it gets really difficult for you to be able to sit here. Now imagine if in a crash situation, this thing comes in and hits your knee, you're going to be knee incapacitated. That apart, hopefully we won't have that happening. The car is pretty safe. Most of the material is made of fiber. So it's molded fiber and it doesn't get dents. It's dent proof. The paint won't chip off. Those are the advantages of this. But the car itself is quite small. It's almost as nano and Maruti Wagon-R, somewhere in between. So off we go. We are in the forward gear. We didn't even know that we are on. There is no engine, so you don't hear anything. And the horn is pretty okay. The lights are pretty okay. You get stared at all the time when you are in this car, because most people are not yet used to the fact that this is an electric car. So invariably they will keep stopping you and asking you silly things, including how much did it cost you, like as if they are going to rush to the store right now and buy some bite, which they won't be, especially if you mention that the price is 7.5 lakhs. This car has a beautiful cluster. You get to see a whole lot of things here. There are two places where it's a touch screen, so you can turn on the radio, you can go back to the menu. When you touch the menu, you get these many things. There's a DVD player, there's a USB in, there's a Bluetooth connector through which you can talk on your phone while you're driving, which you should not be doing. There's an iPod, there's an SD card which actually gives you a navigation option. So, but mine right now, by the way, is not working, which is the funny part of a lot of what Mahindra does. They give you the resources, but there are some things which don't work. In the menu itself, you will find the slots that I mentioned, and the navigation is not working. It says a path error, which is a little weird. There's also a setup. The setup gets you into various other things. You can change the setup of the car. Then you can go into the My Car and check out what has your car done till now, which is also available on your laptop through an app. Now, the cluster here, if you see, it gives you certain details of what is the temperature, the outside temperature, the ambient temperature, which gear you are on. I'm on neutral right now. How much have I driven this car? This is 220 kilometers that I've driven, 82% to go and 94 kilometers to go. This and this is what at times does not match. So if it says 94 kilometers to go, and if I'm driving this car with the AC on, it probably gives me 90 kilometers or 85 kilometers. The efficiency goes down. The car itself is very zippy. It's just on the F mode, it's pretty zippy. It has a boost mode. On the boost mode, it gets even zippier. So if you are trying to overtake somebody and you cannot overtake the person who's at a higher speed, and for some reason you need that speed, you can put it on boost mode. It gives you more power and you can zip and run faster. But the top speed remains 80, and at a speed of around 70 odd, this car starts bouncing around like a Wagoner. And also, whenever I have gone over a speed breaker, I've noticed a certain plasticky sound on the left side of my car. Now, I don't know whether it's only with my car or with all other cars. Now, the turning radius is pretty good. I did a steep turn here. You realize how quickly and how responsive the steering is. The first bunch of E2Os which came in were without power steering, and those were really difficult to drive. I had test driven one of the first E2Os. This one is with the power steering. This is the E2O T2 model, and this has a better battery is what is claimed, and the power steering definitely helps. So here we are in a small congested road. This is where the car is at its best. If we are in the thick of traffic, a guy like me who has a back problem will not feel it at all. The responsiveness of the accelerator is extremely quick. The other important point with this car is, if you let go of the accelerator, the car decelerates on its own. The reason is this is not on an engine. So typically a car which is on neutral will have more traction, or rather it will be running on kinetic energy for a longer period of time. It requires 12 units of electricity. Typically 1 unit of electricity gives you 10 kilometers, and the car itself takes 5 hours to charge from 0 to 12 units. So if you put it up on an overnight charge, let's suppose your car is completely empty and you put it up on an overnight charge, it will take you 5 hours to charge. So you could go a distance of at least 50 kilometers without worrying one way, and you come back another 50 kilometers. It has a reserve of 10 kilometers. So there is a revive mode that you press, and then the battery revives itself and works on a very low power to reach you to your destination of 10 kilometers more. If you have any other questions to ask, why don't you email me on ravi@talkaholicsproductions.com and I'll answer those questions. I'm still dealing with this car. I'm still figuring out what else is possible. There is a car to home option. If you notice up there, we have solar panels out there as well. I intend charging my car with solar power, but I have my doubts if that is going to be possible with these panels. These are flexi panels. These are not phenomenally powerful. The official power rating for charging this car is a 2.5 kilowatt power rating. You need a 15 ampere plug. Without a 15 ampere plug, you cannot charge the car. So you can't just walk into your neighbor's house and say, can I take some electricity? And you will plug in a laptop charger. That is not the thing. The charger for this car is a big charger. It's like a 2-ton AC when it charges. While charging, you can actually hear a bit of a hum that happens in the reservoir of battery. The electric power is extremely responsive, extremely good. That's a very big positive. The maneuverability of this car is extremely good, very big advantage. The AC is average. It's probably as good as a Maruti. It will not be as good as a luxury car, but that's good enough. So that's my take on this car. If you are the sort of person who wants to go green on energy, this is a good beginning. But then I wish Mahindras would give us an option to charge this on solar energy, because that is the future, that is the way forward. Because if you are going to be charging it from regular electricity, we do not know where that electricity is coming from. Is it coming out of coal? Is it coming out of a nuclear plant? Is it coming out of thermal power? I don't know. So until that day when I can charge this car on solar power, I'm a little disappointed still.